Good to be with you, Frederica. And I know you're covering the Super Bowl from New Orleans, but you're also covering it from the Philadelphia region. We are proud Go Birds Eagles fans here. But to your question and to the point, I am a former teacher. I was a professor for 10 years at a university here in Philadelphia. And the mission of the university was to educate the children of the working folks, the poor. This was something from Jean-Baptiste de La Salle, who was the patron saint of teachers. I loved being a teacher. I taught writing and rhetoric and ethics. I loved watching young people claim their education, learn how to critically think. And so what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing by taking a wrecking ball to something we should actually prize, the Department of Education, to educate our citizens, I find it just to be dumb. I am all for making sure we protect against waste, and we find it. We find waste, we find fraud. But to just tear something down is actually economically not smart for these two smart businessmen. And it also is very harmful, directly harmful to my constituents, children, families, children with disabilities, children who enjoy after-school programs or summer programs, so that we have the very best educational levels in this country, so that we have a smart citizenry. What I'm watching Donald Trump and Elon Musk do, which was in Project 2025, page 319, the very first sentence of the chapter on education is to dismantle the Department of Education. It's just a dumb move. Well, I am very much in favor of states supporting education. I'm a former state representative. For 6.5 years, I served in the Pennsylvania House in Harrisburg, and my number 1, 2, and 3 issues were education, education, education. The Pennsylvania Constitution guarantees our citizens, our children, a fair and equitable public school education. But you can't just have it scattershot. We should want the federal government to be overseeing and supporting states as they support our teachers in public schools. What you're seeing here is just an attempt to tear it down, wrecking ball to it. These are talented people, many of them former teachers themselves, who believe in the mission of educating our children, who believe that an educated electorate is important to our future. After all, how we educate our kids determines not only their future, but our own. But you see that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing something very Orwellian. What they want to do is not have an educated electorate. They don't care about equity. They don't care about social equity in terms of educational dollars flowing equally to the children who are in families who are struggling, as well as to families who are doing well. They don't care about the inequity that we often see in our schools around race, color, economic circumstances, disability. There's so much that our federal government does well. If they really want to go in and find the waste, fraud, and abuse, they'll have an ally in me. But the way they're going about it is actually just to harm families. Ultimately, this will harm us, our economy, our national security. It's a wrecking ball approach. And as I say, it's just not smart. Well, I think it is really a three-pronged approach, and you're already seeing it in action. The number 1 prong is litigation. And we've seen terrific, robust litigation. And folks were preparing because obviously this last year, through the campaign cycle, through the authorship of Project 2025, they revealed their hand. They showed what they were going to do, which was this wrecking ball approach. And so number 1, it's litigation. We've been very successful, lawyers in courts, to show what I want people to understand is the illegality, the unconstitutional nature of these last 20 days and the 100+ executive orders or executive actions. So it's litigation. Number 2, we have a legislative role to play, and I ask my Republican colleagues to not abdicate that role. We have oversight. We have the power of the purse, not the executive. And number 3, it is mobilization. My constituents, I have to tell you, I had a town hall, Frederica, Thursday evening. 9,000 of my constituents got on the call to say they are fearful. They're worried for their lives. And I'm worried for them too. But they wanted to hear from me and other representatives to say, we stand by you. We recognize the illegal actions being taken by this president